case, but he's trying to push out of it.
Yeah, there was a Republican member of Congress who said that he sat next to him on a committee and he never spoke a word with Ron DeSantis. It was a criticism early on that he didn't have that personal touch. I want to share with our viewers the newest cover of Time magazine has Florida's governor on it. You see it right there. He's peeling an orange, his hands juicy from doing that. Quite the look on his face. I'm wondering what you make of this cover.
Well, the first thing I thought of when I saw this cover, Boris, was that Donald Trump is going to be not happy.
Right.
Because there are certain brands, historical brands, right, that Donald Trump really connects to and takes pride in having a connection to. And Time magazine and being on covers of Time magazine is one of the primary ones. And even though just our media landscape has changed so much, it's not the same as it used to be be on the cover of a magazine, but it's very symbolic. Yeah. I started reading through this article that our friend Molly Ball wrote. It's, of course, it's amazing, very, very interesting. And the notion of him as a national figure and what he has been doing, now we can mention the substance, which of course is incredibly important, in Florida. The reason why he delayed his official entrance into the race is to get through the Florida legislature and that session and push through in a very robust, very aggressive way, signature issues that put him and Florida on the map, and as Molly puts it in a very smart way, as a big government or a government conservative, which is going to put him at odds with other conservatives who are more libertarian, hands-off conservatives. Right. And that is going to be a fascinating discussion and debate within the Republican Party. He did win his reelection in 2022 by almost huge 20 numbers. Points, you know, double digits plus. You would think that in some ways a more traditional campaign would be, okay, look, I won a lot of independents, even some Democrats, obviously, so I'm going to take that and make my message an electability message on a national scale. But that's not clearly who he is. He's tripling down on very culturally conservative issues, using government to push those through.
Yeah, counterintuitively, he's running to the right of Donald Trump, but projecting himself as a more palatable candidate nationally because of Trump's baggage. Dana, very quickly, we have to